Welcome to Link by Golf. I'm your host, Ross McGuire, and this is a show that connects the journeys of people to the great game of golf that we love. Today I'm joined by PGA Professional Scott Borrowman, based at Stirling, and making his return as only the second ever repeat guest on the podcast. Scott's passion for coaching, movement quality, and speed training has made him one of the most exciting and noisiest coaches to follow in the Thunderdome. We get into his experiences at the Palmer Cup, where he faced up to US stars such as Billy Horschel and Ricky Fowler, chat about what golfers misunderstand about hitting it hard, and explore how improving the way you can move can transform the way you play. Don't forget, if you're enjoying the show, make sure to hit follow so you never miss an episode. Let's go over to Scott. On this week's episode, I'm delighted to be joined by Scott Borrowman coming back. Scott, how you doing?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me back.
No problem at all. And Scott, for listeners who didn't get the chance to hear you last time, just a quick introduction to yourself and where you work and what you're doing right now.
So my name's Scott Borrowman. I am senior teaching professional at Stirling Golf Club. And I've been there for the last 8 years, kind of working my way sort of up the coaching ladder, if you want to call it that. And now seem to have settled on a bit of distance, speed specialist, whatever you want to call it. And I would say that's probably what I'm more known for. And then paid in the Thunderdome HQ.
Absolutely. And Scott, before we get into all things Thunderdome, and last time we caught up, you forgot to talk about something. And that was the Palmer Cup, where I heard from Pete McLaughlin that you put Billy Horschel in the back pocket for a couple of days. So let's talk about that. I know it was a good few years ago, 2008. Let's talk Palmer Cup.
So 2008, God, that is a worrying thought. That I qualified through that. There was a thing called, I think we still do it actually, which was the Arnie Bursars Scholars. I don't know what you would call it. I can't remember what it was called, but basically it was a 2-round sort of qualifier, if you want to call it that. And the winner of it got into the Palmer Cup, which, it was great at being on home soil, if you want to call it that. But, when people are, traveling to far nicer parts of the world than urban, then it wasn't disappointing by any stretch. But, people go to like Caves Valley and stuff like that. And mine was, Gale's a home advantage and knowing the course and stuff like that. And it was brilliant. It was a great experience. It was good fun. And it's the kind of, if for those that don't know, the Palmer Cup, it's like the Ryder Cup of universities, if you want to call it that. And they do this very, very similar format. So they do foursomes, and then they do some singles as well. And in fact, I think it's foursomes then singles, foursomes then singles. That was my.
So it's just like the Walker Cup then, really, in terms of format.
It's good fun. It's great fun. It's different. It's really, really different from anything that like we would experience here, if that makes sense. It's got the whole American university thing behind, which I didn't do. I was based at Stirling, so it was really different. But it was great players and it was great fun. I enjoyed it. I was struggling a little bit going into it, to be fair. I played really well to qualify. And then when I got there, I was just going through a little spell of not poor, but I wasn't firing at all. So it was quite difficult because obviously I would say they're a kind of step up. The top American guys, they were all coming to the end of their sort of collegiate careers. And they were, I remember like, who was I speaking to? So I played against Kevin Chappell was my first singles match? I think he was. And like they're all talking about like, oh, I'm turning pro like tomorrow. This is my last event, and I'm signing a contract with like Bridgestone. And but it was great fun. Like it was really good fun. I played my foursomes with Charlie Ford. I don't know if you heard the name before.
Never heard the name, no.
He's from England. He's on Challenge Tour for, I think he probably got some European Tour starts. But I think he now coaches actually down south. But played foursomes with him. We played, I think Andrew and.
Oh, Billy, did you play Billy Horschel in foursomes as well as singles?
No, just played him in the singles.
Right.
I got half of Ken Chapel, could be wrong. And I beat Billy at the lap, which was nice. He's gone on to slightly better career than me, I would suggest, but
Oh, I don't know about that. He doesn't have it as far as you, Scott. Come on.
he doesn't. I will. I don't know. He's just maybe got a little bit more in the bank than me just now. Just a snip.
Well, based on the update you gave the last time, there was definitely a time where he absolutely had more money in the bank than you.
It was good. It was very like it was like I think they did like the raising of the flags and all that at the opening ceremony and stuff. It was just very like, is it Americans that it's just got that kind of vibe, bit of a show and stuff. But it was a great experience. It was really good fun. We had a great team. I can't remember the final score, but we won, which was obviously very good. We had a very good European team. We had a few guys that went on to do pretty well. Like Jonas Blix, he kind of was on the PGA Tour for quite a while.
Yeah, head to him, man.
What else did we have? It's terrible. The American names are much bigger. We had like Ricky Fowler, Billy Horschel, etc. on the opposing team. So
Ricky Fowler played as well. Wow.
he played. I could be wrong here, but he played. Have you played Gales quite a bit?
Yeah, I've played Gales, yeah.
So I could be wrong. I definitely know one of them is true, but I'm pretty sure he went like he played against Charlie Ford, and he went 7, 8, 9. I think he went 3-2-2 or 3-2-3. I remember speaking to Charlie afterwards because we were playing the next day, and he was just like, I was like, I think he got a B, and I was like, how did you play? And he was like, yeah, I played amazing, but like just chatting, so what happens like. I mean, he went like 3-2-2, so it's not really much I could do. Going, level pegging up to that point, and then before you know it, you're 3 down, and you might have been 1 under par for those 3 holes. So,
wow,
it was great fun. I really enjoyed it, and it probably gave me a boost. I think I've actually still got my bag somewhere. I'm really bad for like not holding on to stuff. Like I've got loads of old Scotland stuff. Like, and wife, we were moving house a couple of years ago, and I was like, just get rid of all this. Like, I don't need it. And she's like, no, you need to keep it. And I was like, why? Like, what? And then, in hindsight, I probably should have kept a little bit more because I'd had pretty cool collection. But
when your kids are 25, Scott, and they go, oh, Dad, can we see that stuff you had from playing for Scotland? You'd be like, no, I chucked it all, actually.
some stuff. I think my mum's got some stuff probably as well, tucked in the house. And then, but like, I don't know. I've never really been that kind of person. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. And did playing in the Palmer Cup at the time, did that open up any doors? I mean, I know you're obviously playing for Scotland and stuff alongside it, but did it open any doors getting into that team?
Not really. No, it didn't. It was a pretty big event, but nothing. It didn't. Not I can remember. Not noticeably, because I'd kind of made my decision to stay in the UK, like at Stirling, before I'd already decided that I wasn't going to stay. So there was, as I was getting ready to go to university, like I got a few offers from the States, but I never went. But I was past that point, if that makes sense. 3 years down the line, it didn't really matter, and I wouldn't have been interested. But it was a great experience. It was good fun. Like, it was really good fun, and I would say the golf ticket definitely was a step up in the right direction. And like, you could see that they were, I don't know, if more professional. They were, because they were literally all just like, they were about to. That was their last event. And then it was just like straight to, like Ricky would have been straight to Puma, like Red Bull, like, right, gonna sign my deals that someone is sort of wangled. So it was different. That was a very different kind of vibe, if that makes sense, to an experience before.
Yeah, that sounds really strange, actually. You've got all these guys that are essentially pros before you tee up.
Remember, like, there being a couple of agents about, and like, that was obviously going to be the person who was going to look after X or Y for the sort of transition from doing this stuff to whatever they were going to be playing. Because a lot of them would have got, I could probably go back and find out, but a lot of them would have had PGA Tour invites not that long after they'd finished.
Especially Ricky and Billy, for sure.
It's annoying me because I'm going to have to do now some digging, and I'll probably message you and I'll be like, by the way, he was in the team as well.
Like Jordan Spieth or something. He's a bit young, actually, but yeah.
I'm one of the oldies. He's much younger than me. Who was it? Don't know. There's another really big name. And anyway, I can't remember. This is going to really annoy me. I'm just going to say Charlie. It might not have been.
Because he would have played the Walker Cup the year before it counted down.
He turned pro just before that. And you were like, oh, he's just won X, Y, the back-to-back things. And I was like, oh, cool. And if you play Gales, it was the the fourth back, like kind of at that point there was like heaps of gorse on the right. It's all ripped out. I don't know if you've been there recently, but it's all pretty much gone. And everyone used to just kind of like, used to basically aim up the left rough, the fairway, it was fine. If you blocked it, you were on the fairway, it was fine. And they were like, oh, he's won this event. And the weather was crap. We're all wearing waterproofs and it was just one. And he must have been hitting a 4 and he topped it like 6 feet. I kind of remember it, just one of those shots that stuck in my head. I was just laughing.
Loads of sympathy for your competitor. Gales is tough though. I mean, my goodness, off those back tees, what a golf course. It's mega tough.
We were right off the back and the gorse was there. Now, when was the last time you played it?
Oh, a long time ago. Deep in the dark ages.
Wildly different, like visually, and the fourth. So it could be wrong, but the majority of the gorse is gone from the right hand side. Around the back of the green, there's none of them left. Yeah, it's really opened up. You can see way more of the course now, but suits me because fairways has never really been an asset. I mean, I'm not really a fairway hitting guy, but it was hard. It was better when they had more, and I was like, yeah, so it is.
Yeah, sure it was. Driver, smash.
Just give me loads of semi and I'm in.
So, Scott, that was the Palmer Cup, and we didn't touch on that last time, but what we did talk about was a whole bunch of stuff around your coaching, your journey. I'd love you to talk about some updates. So, you've named HQ at Stirling, Thunderdome HQ. So, what's been going on in the Thunderdome? Give us an update.
So like this time of the year is when like a lot of people will start to now like push towards increasing their speed and distance and better movement, etc. So it's starting to sort of, I'm getting a lot of messages in the last probably 2-3 weeks of people like, right, I would like to, the next few months try and get something like perfect, get your plan sorted and let's get cracking. So we're just starting to sort of bubble up. There's always people coming in wanting to improve driving and stuff like that and hit the ball a little bit further. But I would say like right now would be the kind of time at which people are really starting to think about getting ramped up. The season's, just kind of finished. It's now time to look at it. So I've got quite a few new clients, some existing clients coming back, and we're just starting to work our way into kind of, I would call it like speed season, if you want to call it that. There's a lot of work getting done over the next few months on a variety of different factors, but it's now that it really starts. So I always have people coming in throughout the year wanting to get a bit faster and stuff, but sometimes it can be quite difficult. Especially in the middle of the season, you know what it's like trying to add a bit of distance. Sometimes there's got to be a bit of spells of like being a bit erratic, being a bit out of control sometimes. So that kind of, I would say that dwindles a little bit in the summer, and as we get to sort of now autumn pushing into winter, this is where it starts. So I've onboarded a few guys just in the last week, done a few more onlines have started to appear as well. So it'll all start to, the tide will start to build and we'll start to see a few more. You'll probably see a few more posts about it as well, because it is speed season. It's good fun. I really enjoy it. It's always a good start to the winter.
And I was going to say, have you seen more people coming up to Stirling? I know you did a really great video with Pete McLaughlin and Bogey Train Films. Did you see any change in people coming up to Stirling based on that as well?
Yeah, definitely had a bit of an uptick in people coming and people seeing, just see what happens and do you know what would be better if Pete was rubbish and I actually made he told you like he middled it pretty much every single time, and then we were chatting about it and I was like, I've seen enough stuff online. And you don't do this when you go and play. Like it's kind of just get into like the Huey cutty one, and I was like. So when he was in the studio, it was like, sometimes people make it very easy for him. They don't move. They've got a really short hand path. Their spin numbers are all over the place. Like they make my job extremely easy because it's just about, changing a couple of things, and you'll start to see if it's not an increase in speed, probably an increase in distance. So, Pete came in and just like was 118 and just like bang, 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 bang. And I was like, Pete, I don't really know what to say here, but I would appreciate like a little bit of a pre-warning that you were going to just absolutely hit some missiles. He didn't. He was. That's what he said. He's like, I don't really do this. It's a confidence thing, but he was really good. I mean, a couple of things we talked about, just a little bit more separation and stuff like that. But he was like he was long as well. Like could be wrong, but I think he touched the kind of 180 ball speed, or if not close to.
Yeah, I think I think he was,
Effort that it takes. But he just hit this lovely little sort of cool fade, and it was just beautiful. But I was hoping it was going to be like 4,500 spin and launching it at 7 degrees, and it just didn't. And then, so I did get a little bit of an uptick from the podcast as well. Just people just getting in touch, and not even like necessarily booking in, but just like reaching out, asking a few things, maybe liking some posts, getting in contact, and asking a few questions. And I'm very open to people. Like if someone asks me about their swing, I'm like, just send me a video and I'll have a quick look at it and I'll give you some idea. I'll not give them the full breakdown, but I'll tell them, like, look, these are the things that you should probably be looking to do, and if you were going to try and improve, I would look at those as a starting point. And then had a few people come up. Had a guy come up from London who actually wrote in his booking. He's like, I saw you on Bogey Train Films. I put a video. I think I put it on. I might be wrong. I think I put it on Instagram, or I put it on Twitter. Either way, or X, sorry. And I put it either way, and it was like, it was the prime example of like absorbing information and not and kind of trying to go down a route which makes logical sense, but it was hurting him massively. So he used to suck with a little bit of the slice, so he started to drop his right foot back, trying to create a really big turn, which is great because you need to turn. But what he was doing was he had no movement, so he didn't move left or right. He just kind of stayed very centered, if you want to call it that, more like a sort of short iron pattern. His swing, as a result, was really, really flat, and he hit everything. I think he was about 9 degrees on the up, and he kept hitting the low in the face. So he was launching it really high, spinning it like, I can't remember what it was. Let's just say 3,500 spin. And I said to him, I was like, you're making this really easy for me because you've told me, like, I sat and spoke to him for a while. I understand everything you're trying to do, like trying to draw the ball, trying to get a little bit more turn on it, try to launch it up in the air. I was like, that everything that you're doing is actually starting to hurt you a little bit. So we just sort of chatted. I showed him some exercises, did a little bit of work, and within like 10 swings, he was kind of, one, hitting the center of the face, so he was getting more out, but two, he added, I think it was about 8 or 9 miles an hour really easily. And obviously, 60, I think.
Wow, that's a huge jump, right? That's what, 25 yards in the air?
So, I'd love to say that it was all me, but like, it was easy. Like, he made my job very, very easy because there was just a misunderstanding of what he was trying to do, which made logical sense, and it does. Until you start to, like, I broke it down. I gave him all the numbers in terms of all the club data and all the information and strike and all that sort of stuff. And then I just showed him some images, and I was like, what stands out to you here? And he's like, can't see, like, my hands aren't above my shoulder. I was like, yeah. I was like, they're actually way around you. The turn was like, it was here as opposed to like here. It just straight away. It was like a flick of a switch. So,
But the thing, Scott, is you're saying, and you're very humble about it, that your job was easy for it, but I think one of the dangers that people face is, or maybe listening to friends who are well-intentioned, that could be one of those folk who are saying to people, change this, change that. They then overdo it. They maybe watch a YouTube video and it's the latest tip. And before you know it, they've got all this information and it's just changing their golf swing in ways that are not really helping them. But that's the beauty of you being able to get with them, either through Skillist or in person. You can explain what they are just not getting the right idea about, and then get them actually doing what they have to do.
yeah. No, absolutely. And also, like, when people are with me, I can't remember who said it. It was just something that sort of stuck in my mind, was when someone's in front of you, they might only absorb 20 to 25% of what you're actually saying. Stuff, you got to make sure that you're really sort of dialing in the stuff that is really relevant to them. And I think that's a really important part of it. Like, sometimes people, people will come and be like, oh, X told me to do this. And I was like, did that person really say that? Or is that just how you've interpreted what?
Well, in some cases, it'll be ChatGPT maybe telling them as well.
Very true, very true. I'm actually going to Google that. How could I hit the ball further? And to see what a little bit. Yeah,
Get in the Thunderdome and start smacking a few.
bit of job here. Yeah, No, definitely. So, like, you've got to be careful about what you say and how you say it, and accept that people won't absorb everything that you say. Like, it's just part of it. And so try to get as much information, like maybe even on paper to them as well, like videos to them, drills to them, just so that there's like real clarity in what they have to do or what I'm trying.
I was going to say, you've sent me some drills that I've been working on. They've been really, honestly, very helpful. I think the way you described it was I was just a wee bit out of sequence trying to get through the ball and just kind of leaning back and not really getting full power through my turn. With the room that you're in, what you have to demonstrate, Scott, is how you actually sent the video to me.
It's the junior club, or I would say the junior club. It's like, the plastic club treatment. Not everyone gets that.
Ah, right. Is that only for premium members?
The inner circle, is that the plastic club? I know you wanted to bring this up, so I kind of sat it here. The plastic club. So, like, everyone's dead, like, I it first came about when I sent a video to, can't remember who it was. I think it's a Stirling member. Anyway, and he sent me a message back, and it was like panic stations. I was like, oh my God, he's completely misinterpreted what I've said here, and he's gonna totally make an absolute arse of his swing here if I don't do something. So I messaged him really quick. I'm actually gonna search back the messages later on. I'll send you it. And I think I was going on holiday the next day, so I was gonna be away for a week or 2 weeks, whatever it would be. So I messaged him saying, I'm going to send you a really quick video. I hope you don't mind. I'm in my kids' playroom and I've only got, my clubs were in, at work. I was like, I only have a junior club and this is all that's going to work. And I did it but you know what it was like? I was like, it was like, one of those, it wasn't like, I was like, oh my God, he's going to do himself some damage here. He's going to make himself significantly worse. And he's going to be the person like, Scott told me to do this. And I was like, well, actually, I didn't tell you to do that. I told you this, which you've misinterpreted. So I went and I grabbed it and I sent him the video. And he kind of was laughing about it as well. And I was like, just to let you know, I only did that because it was going to be a disaster. Very few people get that, but they maybe get the odd demo of me working something. But
And how's the club head speed with the kids club then, Scott? Have you measured that yet?
like, you can't get the speed out into the head. It's difficult, don't we?
Brilliant. And that takes us perfectly on your own golf. So have you been able to play much this year? I know in some updates you posted you haven't played a lot, but have you played any more recently?
No, I've actually, I kind of, I don't know what I've done, like done some sort of ligaments in my ankle, or tendons, wherever it was. It was a bit sort of black and blue. And so speed's kind of off the table, and it looks like it still will be off the table probably for another maybe 3-4 weeks.
I'd like to thank Oliver Wilson and True Linkswear UK for sponsoring the show. Let's hear from Ollie now.
The OG3 Pro is the natural evolution of the OG range. We have a wide toe box that allows your foot to work naturally and your toes display. We have a cushioned zero drop platform. It's flexible, minimalist to allow you to feel the ground. It's waterproof and an aggressive, spikeless outsole. And of course, it's tour tested.
But not like I got to 204, which is great. I would love to have got to 205. This has probably knocked me back a couple of months. But I'll be honest, I've been really, really busy, like I said, onboarding clients and stuff like that. So my speed isn't really that relevant right now. It doesn't really matter. As long as when I go back to hitting, I'll be dotting around the 200 mark again. And then if I find a little bit of time, I'll try and push on. But I'm I just need to get, back in the swing of things, getting a bit of mobility, get a bit of strength going again. And then I'll start hitting a little bit. And I quite enjoy it, like I don't get to play much golf, but I can maybe hit balls in the studio. And I always say, like, I've got delusions of playing more golf, but I would love to, I kind of wrote some stuff on my phone for going into next year, just some like personal goals of mine, and to play a little bit more golf. Like I actually play 5 tournaments, be it like Tartan Pro Tours, the Paul Laurie's Tartan Tour, just like play 5. And to be honest, I don't care how I play. I have no issue with playing good or bad. But if I have those 5 tournaments down and I write them down where I'm going to be, I can work my diary, leaving it open, getting busy, and like, oh my God, I've got 6 days until I'm playing and I've not hit a putt for 4 months. I haven't had a putter since March. So,
You haven't had a putter?
had a putter. So I got a Spider, which I just didn't like. It was a slant neck. I'm much more of a kind of, you want to call it that. And I hated it. I looked at it, I was like, that looks brilliant. And then I putted with it. It's always the putter's fault. So
Maybe just a little bit too upright as well as a putter?
like when I sit them down, I'm like, they're the best looking putters. The tiny slant neck. I like that in a mallet, and I like it going into, a slightly bigger blade. And I just was like, I just couldn't get comfortable with it. I felt like I cocked the left the face slightly open, hitting, putts on the putting green. That, wasn't anything to do with competitive stuff. I was like, I don't feel like I can. I felt like I had to hit it left almost. So I just got rid of it, and I forgot about it. I'll be honest, I completely forgot about it. And I do some playing lessons as well. A company gets in touch with me and does. I do go and play 18 holes with a PGA Professional, and I tee off first green, and I was like, I said, it was 2 guys. I was like, oh guys, I forgot my putter. And I was like, I've not actually forgotten it. I sold it last week and I don't need it. So I putted with a wedge, and I was actually pretty good. So I had a great year, but my putting was dynamite. I've got a zero torque one coming, which hopefully should be here in the next few weeks, just in time for the bobbly winter greens.
Fantastic. And then you mentioned your own speed being at, was that 204 most recently? Like, how long does it take you when you're in the Thunderdome to get back up to that kind of speed? Does it take a couple of weeks again? Or are you finding that you can get there, I don't want to say easily, but is it more accessible to you now?
I think that would, yeah. So I could not hit balls for, I don't know, a few weeks. My first shot will be 187 or something like that, 185 or something like that. And then within 15 balls, I'll be above 192, 193. And then if I've not done anything, and then if I, over the next 3 weeks, start hitting balls, I'll push up to 200 pretty relatively quickly. To get above, to get to 200, I feel is quite fine. But to kind of push that extra 1 and 2%, it is quite difficult. And I got to 204. I wasn't really working out as such. I'd lift weights every now and then. I wasn't really following it. I'm very busy, always late at work and early rises with the kids. So I don't really have time to go to the gym. I've got a gym in the house that I use, which is enough to do. But I don't follow, I write my own plan. I don't really follow it as much as I probably should, just because, I might be up at 5:30 to try and do it, and then my youngest will just be up 15 minutes later. So I can't really do anything. So, I just kind of started getting a little bit faster, and I just saw a 202, and I was like, oh, that was felt good, but it didn't feel like it was not on the risk of injury, but I didn't feel like I was at absolute maximum effort, if that makes sense. At 203 loads, and then I hit 204, and then I broke a couple of drivers in the space of I don't even know, 3 days. I think I did 2 drivers.
Faces or shaft or both?
Both faces. So
Right. So you caved them in basically.
it's one of these things. There's nothing you can do about it. They're not up to testing at those kind of speeds all the time. Nothing would survive. I don't know how hard it is. I don't know what.
Especially when you're doing it. I mean, it's not just a one-off, right? You're doing that every time you're in the back of the shop, basically having balls. You're absolutely smashing it.
I'll do a bit of a warm up, and then for 20, 25 minutes, I'll be blasting a few balls. And a lot of people talk about how, do you rest between shots? I try not to rest really. I try to keep myself energetic. I'm pretty good at knowing where your boundaries. Doing stuff with people, I'm like, you need to stop. You need to recover. I actually feel like I get like in a short window where like for like 25 minutes I can just not stop, like relentlessly hit balls and not, my speed won't drop. But my first thing to go is my right hand is the first thing that goes. That's telltale sign that I'm like, I can't go on anymore. Like, not that I can't go on, but that's the thing that gives way, if that makes sense. That gives sore first. I don't know what it is. You know, I would need to have probably something done on it. But like that's where I noticed that I can't go on any more than maybe 15, 20 balls. My thumb just gets a little bit sore. My right sort of ring finger gets a little bit sore, and I'm like, right, that's us, we're done.
Jeez. Wow.
Through it, let's say 140 miles an hour. I have no idea how heavy the club is. Heavy, you know, so it's like constantly resisting, you know.
Especially the speed. Yeah, like the speed and the power and the resistance you're putting in is crazy.
Yeah, so it's my hand that gives way first.
And then the other thing I was going to say, Scott, you've started doing group coaching, or maybe you were doing that before, but I know this year you started doing group coaching down at Hamilton. So how's that gone?
Kenny, for those who don't know, Kenny Monaghan is head professional at Stirling, and he bought the Strathclyde Park driving range, changed to Strathclyde Park Family Golf Centre, and you know, it's Stirling. We've got one studio. I can get usually like 3 people kind of going through routines. It's just like, you know, it's one person hitting at a time, and it can get like, it was good, but it was nice, you know. And when Kenny got it, a couple of months passed by, and I said, look, I would really like to be able to do some of this. Is that okay? And he was like, yeah, absolutely, come and do it. Great for the place, you know, and get some more clients, all that sort of stuff. So I did quite a lot. I did like it basically won a month. So I think I started in March, April, May, and then had, I think I had 1 month off. And then the last couple of months I've not done anything just because I've been so busy. I was away on holiday in October, but I've got plans to get them sort of started back up again. They were really good. So I'd get like eight golfers, and we just go through just the routines, get 4 days, and got, you know, kind of a 1-to-1 working ratio, if that makes sense. So and your other guys resting, and it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. It's great facilities, got top tracer and stuff like that. So there was some data to come back for everyone, and I would send everyone like some drill videos and some sort of hitting routines and things like that, mobility routines, to try and get people on. And it's been good. And you know, a lot of the people that I saw initially are now, I'll meet them. They'll come to Stirling and we'll do some stuff there, and they'll go and practice at the range as well. So it works out really, really well. And it's nice to, you know, just to see more faces as well. I think a lot of people at Stirling know what I do, if that makes sense. And then it was nice to sort of spread it out a little bit. And, you know, I think there's ideas to maybe go a little bit further afield as well. So it'd be exciting to do a little bit more of it. And it's getting, I would say, if anyone's kind of searching for me, they're probably searching for something to try and hit it a little bit further, would be the first thing that would come to their head. So, and it was partly why I did my TPI as well. So I did my TPI because I was kind of interested in, obviously I'm interested in how the body moves, and I would say I know a decent amount of how the body moves. And I was kind of interested to see like how, you know, another string to bow, how can I know how the body moves, but how can I make or get people to move their body better? And some of the stuff that I've learned from TPI has been really, really good. I've really enjoyed it. I'm going to do another course in probably the next couple of months, and I'm just going to keep building. You know, it's like anything. If you stand still, then people will overtake you. So, I just want to keep going down that route. I think that's the route that I enjoy the most. So, maybe a little bit of a selfishness to it as well. Like, I enjoy it more than anything. So that's why I'm going to keep doing it. But it's been good for business. It's been very good. I really enjoy it. And it wasn't a tick box exercise. It was really to try and develop as a coach.
Yeah, absolutely. So Scott, listen, thanks for coming on. It's been great to hear from you and get the update. If people want to get in touch with you, where can they find you?
In the Thunderdome at Stirling Golf Club, definitely. I'll be there making a noise. follow me on Instagram, Scott Borrowman Golf, X, the exact same. And then just reach out. Like I've said to everyone, like I'm pretty open. Like just reach out, speak to me. If so I think some people sort of sit in the fence as to like, oh, I can't go and hit the ball hard, like it won't work. It's like it's not just about that. It's about how you move and the quality of the movement as well, which can make a massive difference. So, some people are a little bit scared. How's your injury? All right.
Yeah, the thumb injury's improved. Yep, I've gone to a much stronger grip, which I guess could bring its own challenges, but it's the one way I can swing without hurting my thumb. So I've not been fighting it much. I've gone with sort of a really strong left hand and then a pretty neutral right hand, and it's been okay. I'd say it's taken a good 3 weeks to get used to it, and I'm not quite there yet, but definitely getting better.
We get a bit more range in the reps. We've been a bit stronger. You'll get a bit more range.
Yeah, I can definitely get the club back further in the backswing. Like, it's no problem to go up to parallel and beyond, which I couldn't really do before, because my thumb was really straight down the shaft, and that was just putting far too much pressure on it when I was trying to hit it hard. And to be honest, it wasn't even when I was hitting it hard, it was just when I was hitting balls. Just normal shots was getting painful because the thumb was just straight down the shaft. So, yeah, I played a couple of weeks with the thumb wrapped round the club, which was pretty weird, and actually scored okay, but that couldn't continue. So, yeah, I just went with a stronger grip.
Yeah, no, strong grips are. I think strong grips are definitely better from a speed perspective. I would say hit the face a little bit stronger. Those are the kind of things you would look for. But as long as it keeps you playing golf, that's the main thing.
Yeah, prepping for next year when I turn 50, Scott. So, yeah. Tiger, when he makes his returns, in trouble, obviously, with me coming on the scene.
Even for 50, you got less grey than I do, that's for sure. You've got 2 girls, though. I've got 2 boys. That's where I told you that at the start. I was like, that's where this is different.
Yeah, you're getting early stress when they're young, when they're about mad. Brilliant. Well, listen, thanks so much for coming on, Scott. It's been great to see you again, and I've loved seeing all your updates on Instagram and everything you're doing, and keep up the great work.
Big thanks to Scott Borrowman. Always brilliant having him on the show. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, from hearing about his work in the Thunderdome to his insights on movement quality, speed, and why golfers shouldn't be scared to swing with intent. Be sure to follow Scott on Instagram at Scott Borrowman Golf to keep up with everything he's doing, and if you're ever near Stirling Golf Club, drop into the Thunderdome and say hello. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a friend and leave a review. It really helps more people discover the show. I'm Ross McGuire. Thanks for listening.
Lomond Golf Tours have helped thousands of guests build bespoke golf trips to create a magical experience. Travel in style with our executive chauffeur travel, whether it's golf on a major championship venue or one of our hidden gems, 5-star accommodation or a boutique bed and breakfast, or is it whiskey tasting on a private boat? Lomond Golf Tours are here to help build the tour of a lifetime. Whether you're celebrating a special occasion or ticking it off your bucket list, embark on a trip that you'll remember forever. To learn more about our offerings for 2025 and beyond, visit www.lomondgolftours.com.